Because the masculine is identified with unchanging consciousness, discussions between a masculine character and a more feminine identified character always goes something like this. And then the masculine character is trying to bring it to a final resolution. And he hopes that his partner likewise and the agreement is reached, end of conversation. Because the masculine is always trying to reduce everything to the simplest possible rules and always trying to bring the fullness of life to the emptiness of consciousness. So the masculine motive is always to bring things to an end, to allow the mind to become silent, to have sex which is filled with desires and then ejaculate and I'm free of desire, the blissful peace of nothingness. When masculine people drink alcohol, they like to drink alcohol and feel the nothingness of numbness, even drinking to the point of obliteration. Whereas the feminine way to use alcohol is drinking for more fullness, to dance and sing and talk with your friends in a less inhibited way. So anytime we are moved towards emptying ourselves, which means becoming more free, no constraints, being empty of constraints, empty of boundaries, being free, we are exercising our masculine. And whenever we are moving towards fullness, more life, more fullness, we're moving towards greater love, we are exercising our feminine. In a conversation, therefore, the feminine partner is going to want the energy to continue. Life force is the feminine. Therefore, anger is an example of life force. Crying or sorrow is an example of life force. Those flows of anger and crying and sorrow, that is life. That is the feminine. There's no motive in the feminine to bring that to an end. Whereas the masculine partner is always feeling something like, there's anger. Something's wrong. I have to make the anger go away. Or, she's crying. Or I'm crying. Something's wrong. We have to change it. There's nothing wrong. The feminine is motion and emotion. The feminine is the fluctuation of love, the waves on the ocean. That dance, that beauty, the sunlight glistening on those waves is the feminine. So when you are with your feminine partner, you will find that she does not want the intensity of a conversation, discussion, or argument to come to an end. In fact, if you're not giving her your deepest presence, which is what she wants from you, your deep heart presence, unwavering, feeling her, not running away, not trying to fix her, but really with her, feeling her. If you are not giving her that presence, then she will evoke that presence in any way she can. And to her, anything is better than nothing. Fullness is better than emptiness. Putting anything on an empty shelf is better than having an empty shelf in a feminine household. So if you walk into a feminine person's household, every shelf has objects on it, shells, feathers, photos, friends, all kinds of things. If you walk into a masculine person's household, it's all about space. You open the refrigerator and there's 2 batteries and a mustard. If you look at their CD collection, it's arranged alphabetically. Whereas the feminine, everything is filled. If there's a corner in the room that's empty, nothing delights her more than to go shopping, to fill that corner with something beautiful, to fill with beauty, to bring life, to bring love. That is the feminine motive. Therefore, in a conversation, the masculine partner who is more identified with the unchangingness of consciousness is always trying to get the conversation to, got it? Do you have it? Do I got it? Are we done now? Can we agree? Can we just rest this conversation and get on with our life? Whereas to the feminine, the conversation is life. The conversation, the argument, the energy, whether it's angry or sorrowful or happy, is the meaning. She wants to feel that flow between the two of you. If it takes breaking your record collection so you get angry and yell at her, sometimes your angry yelling at her feels more full than your distant presence. If what she's used to is you sitting in front of the TV and not paying any attention to her, not giving her any of your presence, then even your angry presence is better than no presence at all. So she will continually attempt to bring your presence forward by triggering all of your emotions, and probably nobody knows your weak links more than your woman. She knows just where to poke you so it hurts. She knows just what you doubt in yourself, so when she questions it, you collapse. She knows just what to say to tick you off, to make you angry. And sometimes, especially if you're not giving her your deepest presence, she'd rather have the presence of your anger, let's say, than no presence at all. Understanding this, you realize your masculine tendency is always to bring a conversation to an end, to resolve a conversation with an answer. She, however, if she is moving from her feminine, has no desire to bring the conversation to an end. In fact, her desire is perhaps to intensify the exchange, to make the dance more passionate, more furious, more loving, more rich, more full. And so when talking to your woman partner, it's always important for your heart to embrace her values as much as yours. She is bringing you life. She is bringing you motion and emotion. She is the miracle of light and life and change and nature and every motion and emotion. You are that which is unaffected by motion and emotion. In some Hindu iconography from India, there are ancient paintings, hundreds and thousands of years old, that depict the feminine goddess Shakti, or Kali, standing above a blue corpse, which is Shiva, or the masculine divine. So there's a blue corpse, a man laying naked on his back on the ground. He is dead, although his face has a look of bliss, and he's often depicted as having an erection. And standing above him, often holding a sword or sometimes holding men's heads that she's just chopped off, is this wild, dancing, feminine divine, Shakti, or perhaps a Kali image. And that depicts the kind of conversation, if you will, between the superior man and his chosen woman. She will chop off his head if he is less than conscious. She will also make love with him to the end of time. But he must stay erect. He must stay alive in his feeling without reacting to what she says, without trying to box her in, without trying to analyze her. So to be already dead, yet filled with passion, you still have an erection, as in this Hindu iconography. That is, you are lying in bliss. She can dance, she can scream, she can cry, she can make love to you, she can chop off your head. You are resting in the depth of your death. You are resting in the bliss of being emptiness itself. And you allow her to be the fullness of every motion and emotion. And more than allow her, you have no fear because you are already dead. You are already relaxed in the source of consciousness, and yet feeling her entirely, feeling every motion she makes, feeling how her eyes blink, feeling how her tongue moves, feeling the angle of her head, feeling the texture of her breath, feeling everything about her, and still free of her while feeling her and ready to enter her. This is the way of the superior man, to be already dead and yet embracing life completely, feeling her, able to enter her. But the common mistake is to feel that through conversation or even through spiritual practices, you can bring things to an end. She has no intention of bringing things to an end. She is motion.